And against Arrieta, the legend, for helping the Cubs do it in 2016. And they gave him a standing ovation. He gave up 1 run, 8 hits, in 8 innings. So he did pretty good. All right. He did. Darvish coming off his best game of the season, striking out 11 without walking in Cincinnati. It is significant because he had struggled with walks this year. 6 of his 9 starts before Monday, he had walked 4 or more hitters in 6 of his 9. So he's had the velocity, he's had the movement. The control is what's been missing. So if we could see you, Darvish, get his control back, we may be able to come up with a pretty effective pitcher, okay? So, but that's up to Darvish. Good morning to Meckert. Good morning to Tito Luna, that guy who did such a great job last night with Andy, and then White Sox Al. That guy did a better job with Andy last night than I did, okay? So, with Arrieta, his velocity started dipping even when he was with the Cubs, but his earned run average since the Cy Young year, when he had a 177, then it went to 310, 353, 396, and right now his ERA is at just over 4. And his victory total, all right, forget about that, okay? But if Darvish gets healthy, if he gets his, if he's navigating the strike zone, he could be pretty good. The Phillies won their 4th straight. Arrieta did hold his own. Real Muto's 10th inning homer came 2 innings after Sir Anthony Dominguez washed away that 3-run rally. He allowed 3 runs in the 8th inning. What happened to Dominguez and Robertson is Craig Kimbrell around the corner, okay? And Odubel Herrera. Now, remember Gabe Kapler 2 months after last season. He flew to Miami. He checked in with Odubel Herrera. Now, will Odubel Herrera be checking out? Okay, he met with Herrera. He spent the winter in Florida. I'm talking about Herrera, working himself into a form that Kapler described as sturdier, solid, much more sturdier and solid than he was last year. He set goals for the year. But the same struggles he had last year have come to pass again in 2019. He started Monday night, entered with a 637 OPS in the last calendar year, dating back to May 20th. It was his lowest mark, as the 16th lowest by a major league outfielder. He entered Monday with just 12 hits and 66 at bats, and with Kingery coming out, interesting to see what happens. A lot of people think Kingery, including myself, is going to get playoff time. Is going to get playing time. So we'll see. Okay, we'll see how it happens. It could be Herrera. It could be Franco. Cincinnati, if you look at their first 47 games in last year's and compare them to what Joey Votto did, just imagine, has Joey Votto lost something? And it's not to say if he's lost it, he won't get it back. He's walking less, striking out more than ever in his career, and it's still remarkable to see Joey Votto pop up. He never popped up, right? Here are some of the numbers for Votto in his last 162 games. That includes the first 47 of this year and the last 115 of 2008. 513 at bats, 71 runs, 133 hits, 10 homers, 52 RBIs, and a 259 batting average. His on-pace percentage, which was always tremendous, is now 324, down 100 points. He took a third strike on a check swing. Look, Joey Votto's, his seasons were in the past almost automatic. Cruise control. He'd lead the league in getting on base, hit with power, never pop up the ball. So it's very, it's hard to take, but some of these stars that we have on the pedestal, hard to take them down. Hard, but it's easy to put the guys in the chat room on the pedestal. And once again, I thank you all. Donkey Oki has joined in. Here's Cha Cha. When am I going to hear from you there, Choo Choo? I don't want to bother you, but got stuff to talk about. Anyway, that's Cha Cha coming in. And in Colorado, Bud Black, and everybody, fantasy players all over, were wondering, are the Rockies as good as we think in terms of their rotation? Are they as good or better than the Dodgers, who had won previous 6 National League West titles? Uh, and then of course when Bud Black is asked that question, he said on any given night. That means no. The biggest culprit have been the Rockies starters. They have bottomed out. They've got the worst ERA in the National League, 5.64. They got a 276 batting average against. That's the worst. A 145 whip. That's the worst. 47 home runs given. That's the worst. What can I tell you? How did we get so comfortable with the Colorado Rockies starting pitchers? And yet everybody loves him. They like Germain Marquez. He's been by far the Rockies' best starter. Almost had a perfect game against San Francisco. Okay? But he's had bumps. He's pitched well. He dominates a couple of times. But he's been getting hit more. John Gray, he's been a definition of inconsistency. One bad inning is all it takes to derail him on a constant basis. The number of home runs he's given up is ridiculous. 2017, he gave up just 10 homers in 20 starts. He's already given up 10 in 9 starts this year. Kyle Freeland, with a 2.85 ERA, fourth in the Cy Young voting. Big things were expected of him. And now we're wondering if he could figure it out. Antonio Senzatella, he added a good changeup. He got battered by the Giants, and his last 2 starts have been encouraging. And Tyler Anderson is on the injured list. Look, if he's out for an extended length of time, Colorado's going to need a 5th starter. Jeff Hoffman could be the call-up from AAA Albuquerque. Cody Bellinger. I've heard some people compare him to Ted Williams. Is that because he looks like Ted Williams? I don't know. I don't think so. You can't compare anybody to Ted Williams, okay? But good morning to Arnie. You could compare Arnie to Willie Mays. Cody Bellinger was hitting in full counts 12 for 20 with 11 walks and 4 strikes. That's 600 if you're scoring at home. Julio Urias expected to be reinstated from paid administrative leave. He was activated yesterday. So he was put on that 7-day administrative leave May 14th, and we all know the story. They got an investigation going. In Miami, we saw some great work by Pablo Lopez and Sandy Alcantara in dominant starts against the Mets. But here's something else very encouraging. Batters are hitting only 180 against Caleb Smith. They're hitting 227 off Trevor Richards. They're hitting 238 off Pablo Lopez, 258 off Sandy Alcantara. That ranks Caleb Smith 4th in the National League. Richards is 29th and Lopez is 41st. Jose Urena, not having a great year. The opposition is hitting 290 off him. Okay, and I'll tell you something. This Marlins pitching staff, Lewis Brinson hit well for AAA for a time. He hit a couple of home runs. I don't know. They don't want to rush him back up. He's hitting 259, 22 strikeouts in 17 games, just following him. And Monty Harrison, another guy that people ask me about, 286, 12 RBIs in 38 games for AAA. He is 16 for 16 in stolen base attempts. So you need stolen bases? Get him now before he comes up and everybody's going to pay top dollar for him. You want to be ahead of the game. That's what we try to do here. We try to be ahead of the game. And if you are listening on Spreaker or some dial-up phone, or I don't care how you're listening, U-Tunes, Looney Tunes, okay, cartoons, that's what we try to be ahead of the game. Jimmy Nelson is another one, 3rd minor league rehab. Great, he looked great, they said. He threw 86 pitches over 5 2/3, and he looked good. 3 hits, a walk, struck out 8. Second good start, so pick him up now before, everybody. And no, I try to get, so here I'm trying to bid on free agents, and I didn't want the big guys, because my big free agents, National League only. I'm doing well in the Sirius Host League. I'm going to win it. Ronas is coming down. I'm coming up. So I'm looking at, and one of my all-time favorite players, and I start bidding, and all of a sudden I said, what am I doing? Carlos Gomez, he used to be a given. 2020, he was great. But, all right, not lately. So, and then I'm realizing he got his first hit with the Mets 11 years and 236 days ago. What am I thinking? The old Carlos Gomez, the most homers by a Met in his rookie season. All right? Only one player has hit over 20. And Pete Alonso has 15 on May 20th. Who has the most homers by the New York Mets as a rookie? Anybody want to take a gander on that? Okay. Thank you, Arnie. Who has got the most homers as a New York Met rookie? Alonso's blast was his 15th, and that tied Ron Sobroda with the franchise rookie record for homers in the first half of the year. Patrick Corbin lasted 5 innings, 4 earned runs, 6 hits. Wilmer Font, that's how bad the Mets. He's got a funny name. If his name was Wilmer's funny, Font is. He can't be a good pitcher with a funny name. All right, not Cespedes. Wasn't Mike Vail? I remember Mike Vail with that big hitting streak that he had. Right, but it wasn't Mike. Come on, it's an easy one. Most homers by a rookie by a New York Met. He had 26 homers. Who was it? Dominic Smith provided the Mets with an insurance run. He had a pinch hit. He's buried. And he's not even that good. So, And Patrick Corbin gave up 4 early runs. And they tried to bully Wilmer Font, but they couldn't. They tried. I think it was a little bit of a letdown by Corbin, who just figured his team was going to win. Who'll we facing? Wilmer Font? And Font's not a bad pitcher. I had him 2 years ago in the American League. So, Corbin threw a fastball right down the middle to Ahmad Rosario in the first inning. Bingo, Rosario's home run. And then Pete Alonso knocked a sinker over the left field wall 2 batters later. It looks like the Mets may have woken up a little bit. Okay, maybe. That's right. It was Darryl Strawberry, 26 home runs. We'll give that one to the Amazons. It's a Met question. The Amazons is going to get it. Mitch Keller looks like he's going to make his Major League debut pretty soon. He's not just a top prospect, but he's one of the best in baseball. The MLB pipeline had him as number 4 right-hander in the minors, 23 years old. He's got a 4-0 with a 3.80 ERA in AAA. He was scratched from his last start Sunday, and he's scheduled to start for the Indians today. We'll see what happens. Keep your eyes out for Mitch Keller. Not a finished project, but still, now they need him. He allowed 2 runs, 3 hits, 8 strikeouts in a 4-2 win his last start. But with Tyon out and now Trevor Williams out, they say Williams is going to be just hanging out for 10 days before they really do anything with him. Tyon on the 60 days, so they need starting pitching, and he's the best project. He's one of the best in baseball. Okay, one of the best in baseball. They're going to hand him the ball. St. Louis. The Cardinals have installed Jordan Hicks as their closer. They're finally admitting it. How about that? Same way I'm going to admit that Michael Itch in your kitchen table could be the best podcaster of all, but he doesn't do it. Come on, Mike. Come on, Itch. Come on, table. Do your stuff. The Whisperer. We call him the FM style. If you never heard Mike Itch in your kitchen table do a podcast, forget about it, man. The kid's one of the best. And I said that to you when you were doing them, and I meant it. Anyway, Hicks but he doesn't get a lot of chances, right? Hasn't pitched in the same situation in 3 weeks. But we'll see what happens. But and they finally say he's the closer. Paul DeJong has as many hits in runners in scoring position as the rest of the entire team in the last 6 games. That's what's killing the Cardinals. They're just not clutch. The Cardinals are 4 for their last 35 with runners in scoring position. That's 114 if you're scoring at home. The bullpen has been terrible, but not good. All right, let's move over to the American League. But before we do, let me just warn you that if you're listening, come into this chat room. Come on, people, spread the word. If everybody listening, and I know I saw the stats